Mikel Arteta has seen it all this season and is fed up of really having shortage of quality players into his list. And today we are in here to talk about who Mikel Arteta has identified as a William Saliba's challenger. You can call him an understudy, competitor, or backup in the Arsenal squad that is going to feature into the 4 tournaments that are going to take place into next season. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Guys, it's all happiness into the boardroom of Arsenal, because when you look at one of the players that they really loaned in the Serie A, known as Pablo, things are going on as to plan, and Arsenal are going to go ahead and really pocket in some good amount of money, and this is one of the hugest profits I think they're really going to go ahead and really make this season, because this player came on in the cheap and they are going to make in a lot of profits, as we are going to discuss so far and so on. Then Petr Cech, one of the Arsenal and Chelsea players, has gone ahead to be inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. Remember yesterday it was Rio Ferdinand and Tony Adams, the captain of Arsenal. Then today it has been Petr Cech, and I'm going to bring you the entire list of Arsenal players that have been inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. Now, it's really a very beautiful day. Third story of the day. That means we're left with 1 or 2 depending on the situation that we are into right about now. But let's find ourselves into the mix and really bring you stories that Sammy McBall, credible source coming in from the Daily Mail. He's a chief football reporter that side. He told us that he's the first person to break this story, that Mikel Arteta has placed a new central defender towards the top of his summer target recruitment plans, with England international Marc Guendouzi among the targets of Arsenal. Then Mark Bell went ahead and added more that at centre back, Crystal Palace's Marc Guendouzi has impressed Arsenal's recruitment specialists this season, but Arsenal are one of the many Premier League teams, including Tottenham Hotspur, keen to sign Guendouzi. So after that, we are going to break this guy down. Guendouzi is really one of those players that you'd want to really know about him. To me, to notice all his possibilities and how good he is, I just saw him play for Crystal Palace in the Premier League opener. That was against a side known as Arsenal. In that game, Arsenal won it by 2-0, and sadly, Guendouzi connected the ball into his own net to give Arsenal a 2-goal lead. But I just liked the way he played, and every time I've seen him play for the team known as Crystal Palace, he has not failed to impress. He has not failed to impress. That is this guy, and I've gone ahead to really like the way he has gone ahead to put in the efforts and obviously the shift in every time he's really playing. And he's just 22 years of age. You know, Guendouzi is really a very young player. When you look at his stats this season, he has gone ahead to play 33 games and 1 goal. It shows you how good this guy has been for this side. He's really press resistant, and I think he's right-footed. If at all you're talking about William Saliba replacement, not a replacement, or a player who can come in and really give William Saliba a push for the start of that position, I think Guendouzi ticks all the boxes to come into that Arsenal side, and I really love the player. That's it. His physicality is unquestionable, and he's really aggressive. So I think Mikel Arteta's eye has gone ahead to land on this player, and I think he can give Arsenal the best that they deserve, because he's Premier League proven. You won't tell him that Haaland is really hard to defend, because when they played against them, Haaland just scored a penalty, and it was because Olise brought Jack Grealish down in the 10-yard box area of Crystal Palace. That's it. But Haaland was really marked out of the game by Guendouzi, and I think if at all Arsenal had Guendouzi into that game of Man City as they played away at Etihad, it would have been a different game of football together. He's fast, he's strong, his aerial prowess is really unquestioned, and I think Mark Bell, coming in from the Daily Mail, giving us that story, I think it's really on point. And he's not only the journalist that has come ahead to really give us facts about that, but even Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead to really give us thoughts about this, that There is nothing advanced between Arsenal and Mark Guendouzi, but they are monitoring it. It's just an exploration. No decision has been made yet. There is nothing concrete at this stage about Guendouzi, but many of the top clubs are really following him. So Fabrizio Romano said this via the quote offside, and it shows you that Mikel Arteta is obviously into for this guy, and I don't think that he will go far away from the Premier League as far as signing centre-backs is concerned, because he has already gone ahead to bring on one centre-back who we know as Jakub Kiwior outside the Premier League, and I think he's really going to go on and really fancy bringing a player from the Premier League. As it stands for me, that's what is really going in my brain, that he's really going to go out and really bring in a player who plays for the Premier League. And if at all you don't know Mark Guendouzi, that is the guy. That is how the guy looks. He plays for the Crystal Palace team, and for that, there, he was donned into the attire of the England national team. That is Mark Guendouzi, very young and talented, and I really love the way he has gone ahead to come and really implicate himself into the big lads. And if at all every top team is really scouting him, it shows you how good he is. And I think he's a prospectful centre-back that if at all Arsenal get him into the near 1 month left for us to enter into the preseason and transfer window, I think that will be good for them, because Arsenal are really having a very good scouting team, and they're in London. They can get Mark Guendouzi in, and maybe they can even offer them Rob Holding on loan, because Mikel Arteta, if at all, is having Rob Holding, Jakub Kiwior, there is this other guy, Gabriel Magalhaes, and William Saliba. Those are 4 centre-backs that he needs to see his season off. You can also add on a player known as Tomiyasu. If at all he keeps himself fit, then sometimes Ben White can be pushed into the right side of the central defense for Arsenal. But that shows you that Arsenal really need very many players. I think they need a right back, to it that they count Ben White onto the central defenders to make it 5, and for the right backs to make it 3. Then they need a central defender. They need 2 central midfielders. Those are 4 players. They need a right winger with the left foot. Those are 5. And they need a centre forward. Arsenal need close to 6 players. But I think that calls in for a lot of money to be dislodged, because only 2 players that Arsenal are really targeting and making as their number 1 targets, that is Declan Rice and Moise Caicedo. They are costing £160 million, meaning that Arsenal need to find themselves in a position of really selling off and really making that budget feasible for them to really kill off such scenarios into the beautiful game of football. That is the story of a William Saliba backup that Mikel Arteta is in up to now. When you look at Pablo Mari, huge good news coming in from Spezia. That is all music to ears of Arsenal fans, because Arsenal are set to receive £6 million fee for Pablo Mari, as his transfer to Serie A Monza will be made permanent. Personal terms already agreed, it's done and sealed, meaning that Arsenal are going to make a profit of £5 million from the sale of Pablo Mari to Monza. I remember he's one of those players that really left late into the transfer window, and he was playing in for Udinese the previous 6 months for Arsenal, and he played the previous 6 months of the last season of 2022, and then he looked very well when Monza came in through. The team of the former president of AC Milan, that is Berlusconi, came in through and signed him. They had a clause into their contract that if at all Monza stays into the Serie A, they are going to pay £6 million. And when you look at Monza right now, they are 10th onto the Serie A, and they're having 45 points, meaning that the team that is 18th is 27, and they're left with 5 games to go. Even if they win their 5 games, they'll be at 42 points, and Monza is already at 45 points. So it shows you how they've gone ahead to really make a huge profit, and I think it's all happiness into the recruitment team of Arsenal. It's not one of those recruitments that you go ahead and really say that they made a very perfect recruitment for side of Arsenal, but I think for a trial signing from Brazil to get it to Arsenal, because Arsenal bought him at 800,000 pounds, less than £1 million, and they are making close to £5.2 million into profit. So that shows you how good Arsenal have gone ahead to do, and that was the first signing of Edu Gaspar at Arsenal. If at all you are to remember very well, it was the first signing of Edu Gaspar, and he went ahead to really put in the shift as well, called in for by a side known as Arsenal. So as it stands, Monza is going to cough that amount of money for a player known as Pablo Mari, and I think he's a very good centre back when it comes to playing to sides of when it comes for him playing to sides of the Premier League, in the Serie A, but in the Premier League, he was really abysmal. Remember him when Arsenal found themselves in a position of losing to Man City and Chelsea at the beginning of the season. I think you saw him very well, and obviously he found himself in a position of really not getting to the levels as called in for by the manager Mikel Arteta. Now today, there has been another huge announcement in the induction of the Hall of Fame of the Premier League. Guess who has been inducted there? It is Petr Cech, and obviously it's congratulations to the former goalkeeper of Arsenal, Petr Cech, on being inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame, the highest individual honor awarded to players by the league. Cech was honored alongside the rest of the 2023 inductees at the award ceremony last night. So Arsenal is really having lots of players inducted there, and let me show you how Petr Cech came in through and really looked after the inductment. That is Arsene Wenger and Petr Cech in there for you. They were inducted last night, but Arsene Wenger was inducted at the beginning of this month, if at all we are not mistaken. So Petr Cech came in from Chelsea and came signed for Arsenal. Then Arsenal brought on Bernard Leno, and when Bernard Leno was brought on, they found themselves in a position of really getting him off, and he turned into a technical director at Chelsea. But when Tony Boyle came in through, his job was really cut short, and he resigned. And right now, I don't know exactly what he's doing, but he's into the football management role, and let's wait and see where he's going to be next season. Then after that, a list of those that have been inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame has been really presented to us, and I think we have a leak. Arsenal are having Petr Cech, Tony Adams. They're having Vieira, Ian Wright. There is a Thierry Henry. There is Dennis Bergkamp. I think those are the players of Arsenal that were inducted so far. Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira, Ian Wright, Arsene Wenger, Petr Cech, and Tony Adams. Arsenal has close to 7 inductees into the Hall of Fame of the Premier League. So guys, your thoughts on to Arteta identifying William Saliba's backup being Marc Guendouzi. Your thoughts onto that are welcome in the comment section below. And what do you think about Pablo Mari's sale and Arsenal making a huge profit of close to £5 million? They've even made a profit that is more than even 200% of the original fee. They really bought the money. Some good business done by Arsenal. And lastly, what do you think about Petr Cech inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame? I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Rokani remains my name. I'm out. Bye-bye.